Alright, guys, I'm going to try and get this done fairly quickly if I can. But today we're talking about obsession and prioritizing your goals and becoming obsessed with the process and achieving the goals and what it is you actually want and how much you're willing to sacrifice, how much you're willing to give up to achieve that goal. So, becoming obsessed is basically it's focusing on the one goal that you choosing one or two goals, maybe in a couple of different aspects of life, and then having them as the only things you focus on and the only things that you care about, the only things that you want. Obviously, you'll have family and stuff in the background that you'll care about. But let's say you want to start making more money, that is your main obsession. You've got to realise, okay, I'm not going to see that girl. I'm not going to go and watch TV. I'm not going to slack off. This is my focus. This is now my purpose, is to do this. For however long it takes, I'm going to do this because that is my purpose. I'm obsessed with it. And you've got to use this obsession as a use the obsession with discipline as something that will help you stay on track, stay on target, and keep progressing towards your goals. And so I've got a couple of examples of two actual situations where obsession has helped me massively improve upon what I'm doing and how much progress I made. So number one is when I first started going to the gym. It took me 6 months to put on 25 kilos. I was obsessed with every single step that I could take toward getting better, or every single step that I knew about that I thought would make a difference. So I neglected my recovery, but I was obsessed with how much I was eating, my training, what type of training I was doing, my protein intake, all my carbs, my calories, everything. And the only thing I neglected was my recovery, so my sleep and the amount of rest days I was having. But apart from that, I was fully focused and devoted to getting bigger, getting stronger as fast as I could. And that was my aim, and that's what happened, because in every waking moment I was focused on getting bigger, getting stronger, and looking at new ways on how I could train, what were the best foods to eat to put on weight. Every second I was just looking at it more and more into, okay, how can I do this better? What's the best way for me to go about this personally? And that's how I made the biggest difference in my fitness journey, because what I did was I focused on it so much, I prioritized it over everything else. So I made much, much more progress because that's what I was doing. And then the second is another phase of obsession, as what I'm doing now, and it's into making money. And it's been going for a couple of months now, and I first started off with joining a right network, talking to a bunch of people. Okay, how do I start making money? What's the best way? Oh, online. Okay, a sales job. Great, there we go. So an online sales job. Well, where can I do this? Or remote sales, high ticket sales. There we go. Then I found high ticket sales. So you can become a closer, you can become an appointment setter, you could have your own high ticket offer, whatever it may be. Getting into high ticket sales, that's what I chose to do. And now I've just landed my first appointment setting position, and I am fully devoted to it. I'm fully obsessed with the process of getting better, becoming the best I can at it, and reaping the rewards from doing so, and utilizing the people I have access to, the network I'm a part of, as a way to succeed in this area of sales. So I know I've got tons of people that have been about the block. They've been doing sales for longer than I have. What can I learn from them? What have they done that I'm not doing now? What worked for them? What didn't work for them? What were some tricks and tips they used? So I'll try and ask as many questions as I can, get as much knowledge as I can out of these people, utilize what they have as something to help you grow, and then eventually you'll be able to pay them back with the value that you have attained as a level almost. So I'm now in that second phase of obsession where it is all money, and I want to become independent. I want to become financially independent of my parents and move out, go somewhere, go travel, and earn my own income. So that's my main focus now, and I'm becoming obsessed with it. I'm doing the YouTube, and I'm in the sales, and I'm like every second of the day I'm thinking, okay, how can I make more money? What courses can I look at? What is the right book for me to read? What's a good trick I could use? How do I set this up better? How do I do more messages a day? Everything I'll look at it as if, how can I increase it? How can I do it better? How can I increase my performance than what it was yesterday? That's my focus in every aspect. How can I get better so that I can get better results from what I'm doing? And a little metaphor that I've thought of is throughout the day, you use obsession and you can use discipline as a filter for what you're thinking and for how you go about your day, the habits you choose. So imagine a pipe full of water, or a river. Imagine a body of water flowing down a stream or in a pipe, and somewhere along this river you've got a big mesh kind of filter, like a net, and it catches all of the rocks, all of the tree trunks being blown down, all of the rubbish. Everything gets caught by this mesh, and in goes all this dirty water, and out comes the nice clean water. And that's how you've got to view every day, every kind of thought. That's how you've got to view what you do on a daily basis. Your thought process is that dirty stream, is the stream full of mud, and it's got the trees in it, it's got the rubbish, it's got rocks and stuff in it, but it all gets stopped by this filter. And this filter is obsession and discipline. It's got obsession going one way, discipline going the other, and that's what causes the netting, and that's what catches everything. So obsession is staying goal-oriented always, staying focused and on target by being obsessed with it. And then you've got discipline, which is making the right decisions always so that you can stay on target. So as this water's coming through with the rocks, the trees and the rubbish, those rocks, those trees, that rubbish, it's bad habits. It's, should I go sit on my phone? Should I watch Netflix? Should I skip the gym? Should I eat this unhealthy food? That's all of that debris. That's what that is. It's the bad habits. And this mesh wiring, the discipline and the obsession, catches it and stops it from going down the waterfall of obsession, of action, even of what you do on a daily basis. So it catches all of the bad stuff using obsession and discipline, and out comes the clean water, which is just you doing the right things day in, day out, and making sure that you're constantly making progress. And that is what goes down the waterfall of taking action. That's what goes across the edge of what you do in a day, what you do on a daily basis, how you actually make steps and take steps towards your goals. So staying obsessed is so important, because it's all about staying on target constantly, all about making sure that every waking moment you have, every spare second, is focused on that one goal, or those two goals, however many you choose. I'd say two at most, so you can fully focus on it, and you can spend however long it takes for you to achieve that. So be it making more money, you're like, okay, this is what I want, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to learn as I go. So now I've done some learning, I know how to set everything up, now I'm going to go and attack it. And you then use the discipline as okay, so I'm not going to bunk off the gym session, I'm not going to not go to the gym, I'm not going to miss this call, I'm not going to eat that bad food, I'm not going to sit there watching Netflix, I'm going to do all of these right things. So instead of missing the gym, I'm going to go train really, really hard. Instead of watching Netflix, I'm going to go watch a sales course, I'm going to read a book that's going to help me progress. Instead of eating that bad food, I'm going to eat healthy, or I'm not going to eat at all, so that I can then stay more dialed in as I'm hungry. And you've got to use the discipline as like the filter, and use the obsession as a filter to cut out all the bad things that you're doing on a daily basis that's stopping you from progressing towards your goals. And I'd say a network is really important for this. as it's going to help you, iron sharpens iron really. It's going to help you progress even further, even faster, because you're going to be around, say, a group of 3 or 4 people. Even if one of you, just one, has got a thought of the end goal in mind, if they're telling you, guys, let's get back to work, so you've always got one person that's focused on the goal, then they can help spur the other 2 and push the other 2 into getting back on track. So let's say you've got 3 people, one person's up so 6 o'clock in the morning, one person's up, the other 2 are in bed still, but they're thinking about lying in and staying in bed. But then you hear that one person that's up and he says, come on guys, let's get going. Now they've got to get up because that guy's up. And then they get back from the gym. Now that person's really tired. But the other 2, they're like, oh, we've done the gym. He woke us up this morning. And now we've got to get on with work. And they don't know that this person's feeling that almost self-doubt, or I'm tired. They don't know they're feeling that negative thought. So they're like, okay, let's get on with work. And without knowing it, they're helping that person get back on task and cut out of the negative thoughts, the negative ideas of not doing work. So as you're constantly around a group, that net filter that we've talked about earlier, that is becoming thicker and it's filtering out more and more of the bad ideas, until basically it's just like a cloth that can't be broken through, and it just stops everything apart from the water, which is the goal, which is taking steps toward the goal. So when you're in a network, you've got all these great people around you, and if you're constantly talking with them, saying, okay, how can I improve this? How can we improve this? What should I do in this next step? Then you're going to improve because you're constantly taking in information. If you make the right decisions day in and day out, then you're not going to fail, as long as you're staying consistent with it. Like 1% better every day, and you become 37 times the person that you were a year ago. Just 1% better every day, accumulatively. Imagine that. But if you become 1% worse, then you're 0.03 times the person. It's ridiculous. So it's all about consistency and just staying with it as a long, long progress. And that happens through using obsession and discipline. And I just want to say, so stay obsessed, focus on that goal. That is what you want. Make sure you visualize it every morning. You wake up and you look at it and you're like, you have this goal written out, 10k a month, bench 100 kilos, etc., etc. You've got that written out. You visualize yourself doing it. You've got your eyes closed. You see yourself doing it. You imagine what your life would be like, and then you attack the day. You're obsessed with it because you see yourself at that point, and you're like, all I've got to do now is just take action upon it, and eventually I'll get there, and then it'll happen. It's all about visualization, seeing what you want, and then going and taking it, and using your obsession, your drive, your want for success as a motivator, and using your discipline and your obsession as a filter to stop anything from getting in your way. So I just want to say, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.